Last week we talked about the chakras, working with images and the elements and the energy body. And as I mentioned, Sutra 139 says we can use anything appropriate, anything uplifting, sattvic, inspiring, interesting as a focus for our meditation. So that was one example. A little esoteric, but I know that several of you really connected with it. I want this week to bring it back to a physical focus, because this is also quite legitimate. We can focus on the body itself and just talk about some of the basic movements that the spine does and how the breath interacts with those movements. So essentially, our spine makes 4 different kinds of movements. And the most basic kind is called flexion. It's when we're in a rounded position. This is a flexed spine. We often call that a forward bend, flexion. This, by the way, is our first position, right? Curled up like this. And you'll notice that we use it as a counter pose for all of the other positions. It rebalances us. So that's the most foundational movement, spinal flexion, forward bending. There's also the opposite motion. It's called spinal extension, when you arch your back, and that's called a back bend. We can also rotate the spine, so turning the spine this way, and this way, that's rotation. And we can also laterally flex the spine, or bend to the side, this way and this way. So 4 types of movements that the spine can do, and the neutralizing, balancing force is the forward bend, which you'll notice we come back to between postures as a counter pose. I'd also like to point your attention to the way the breath interacts with the poses. Of course, we breathe in all different sorts of positions, but we can increase the impact of both the spinal movement and the breath when we use them together skillfully. So when we exhale, the diaphragm moves up like this. We can encourage and support that movement by engaging the abdominal muscle at the beginning of the exhale. We pull the belly in, and then that helps support the breath up. So we can really exhale completely when we exhale, when we engage the abdominals and exhale. And the motion that goes with that is a forward bend. We engage the belly. If you just pull your belly button back, you start to get a little bit of lumbar flexion just there. So we pull the belly back, and then bending forward squeezes the breath out even more. So not always, yes, always, we will exhale in coordination with a forward bend. Not to say we can't inhale into while we're in a forward bend, but to get there we always exhale. Also, the inhale automatically lifts the chest. The body's trying to make space for the breath to move in, and the diaphragm descends on the inhale. So an inhale matches well with a spinal extension. That sort of movement. So we're going to watch that as we go through the practice. There is a guideline, which we're not going to apply today, but we'll play with another day. You can actually exhale into any position. Not so with inhale, but we can actually use the exhale to get into any position. So we'll do a practice soon when we move only on exhale, and you can feel that. But for this morning, let's focus on the relationship between the movement of the spine and the phase of the breath. And try to make sure that we move the spine in each direction. When I'm planning a practice, I am always thinking about what kinds of motions I'm giving to the spine throughout the practice. So bring your attention into your body. Your physical body will be our point of focus today. Let's stand in Samastiti, feeling the balance under your feet, the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, the center of the heel. Lift yourself up through your legs. Make the legs long, not by pushing back into your kneecaps, but by lifting up through the kneecaps towards the front of the, towards the hip joints, and making yourself tall. That will have the effect of lengthening the leg without pushing into the backs of the thighs. And then lengthen the spine up. Imagine a string at the very top of the head. This simultaneously lengthens the spine and drops the chin down. Then close your lips and begin to breathe through your nose and follow the flow of the breath. As it comes in, it moves in through the nostrils, down the throat, expanding in the upper chest, then the middle chest, then the lower chest. And the breath, of course, does not actually go into the belly, but you can relax the belly at the end. And then the exhale, engage the belly, and then follow the flow of the breath up and out, feeling the ribs come together, and the abdominals staying engaged as you complete your exhale. Take a couple phases of breath like that, smoothing and lengthening the breath as you notice its flow and the subtle effects that just the in and out of the breath have on the spine. Feel as you inhale, the chest expands and you have a little bit of spinal extension as you lift the breastbone. As you exhale and pull the belly in, a little, very subtle amount of lumbar flexion, a little bit of flattening in the lower back. Now we're going to watch the breath and watch the spine in several different postures, beginning with a standing forward bend. As the name implies, this is mainly about the spinal flexion, which happens when we bend down. But we do inhale and come up and extend the upper back. So both spinal extension and flexion are happening here. Keeping the chin down. Inhale, breathe the breath into the chest and then into the belly. Feel the lift of the breastbone, a little bit of spinal extension. And now exhale, pull the belly in and bend yourself forward. Now you should really feel the rounding of the spine, especially first thing in the morning. Inhale, float your arms forward. Feel the back flatten, that's your spinal extension. And then we're going to bend down again with exhale. Pull the belly into the spine. Feel the rounding starting way low in the back. And it just continues in a relaxed way up to the upper back. Inhale, open the chest. 2 more times. Exhale, hug the belly in. Spinal flexion, rounding. This is a forward bend. Inhale, coming up, opening the chest. Spinal extension, a little bit of a back bend. 1 more time. And then bring the arms down. And relax the breath. Find your even stance in Samastiti. Now Tadasana, that little balance that we do, is a very slight back bend, a little bit of an arch, nothing extreme. We're going to do a bigger one in a moment, but let's lift up and down 4 times and feel on the way up that you're extending the spine slightly to lift the chest. Keep the chin down and inhale, raise the arms and the heels. Feel that upper back extension as you open the chest. And then exhale, hug the belly in, bring the arms and the heels back down, relax the shoulders. We'll do it 3 more times. Inhale, open the chest. Let the upper back work a little bit as you extend the spine. And then pull the belly in and lower the arms and lower the heels. Twice more. See if you can feel the little gentle back bend happening here. Remember to keep your chin down. And lower with the exhale. Hug the belly. And take it 1 more time. And relax the breath. Find your balanced equal stance in Samastiti. Let the breath move naturally. Bring your attention into the body. Now we just did a little back bend, which didn't feel like a dramatic one, but maybe you can feel a little bit of leftover engagement in your lower back. This is why we need to counter pose after we do anything besides a forward bend. So to release that little bit of tension in the lower back, we're going to go into a forward bend. This time we're going to stay down in the forward bend for 4 breaths, so you can feel the way the breath moves in and out when the spine is in a fixed position. Keeping the chin down, inhale, raise the arms, let the breath move from the chest down to the belly. Exhale, pull the belly to the spine. Feel that spinal flexion. And you feel like, that's what my back wanted. And then we're going to stay relaxing the upper back and inhale. Let the breath come into the back of the ribs, into the lower back. And then exhale, pull the belly to the spine. Relax the upper back even more. Shoulders relaxed, head hanging. 3 more breaths, nice and slow. Every exhale, pull the belly button up into the spine to emphasize that lower back stretch that's coming from the deep spinal flexion. 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale to the top, lifting the arms. Gentle spinal extension. Open the chest as you come up. And exhale, lower the arms down, relax the shoulders. Allow the breath to relax. Keep the attention inside the body. Notice, does your lower back feel a little different from the way it felt when you finished the Tadasana? Any other sensations that linger in the body? Just noticing. We're going to try a deeper back bend, a bigger spinal extension in Virabhadrasana. This is more extreme because we're going to add also hip extension. So we're going to be straightening across front of one of the legs as we extend the spine, also extending the front of the hip. Stabilize your pelvis. Turn the right toes out to the side. And step the left leg forward. Stand evenly on both feet. Feel the lift of the breastbone. Already we have a little bit of an increased spinal curve here. If that gives any trouble to the lower back, you can pull the belly in and tilt forward to come to a neutral spine to start with. That's up to you, whichever serves you better. With the inhale, we'll raise the arms forward and up and bend the left knee. Let the chest expand. Feel the spinal extension and also the hip extension, the stretch in your front right thigh. Exhale, pull the belly in, lower the arms and straighten the leg. We'll do it 3 more times. Inhale, raise the arms forward and up, opening the chest, extending through the length of the spine. Stay anchored down through your right heel. And exhale, lower the arms, straighten the leg. 2 more times like that. Inhale, opening the chest, stretching up. Feel that back bend. Let the back bend be present throughout the whole spine. And exhale, arms down and legs straight. Square the hips, relax the shoulders. 1 more time. Inhale, raise the arms, bend the knee. Feel the spine extend as you take this back bend. And exhale, arms down, legs straight. Soften the shoulders. Relax the breath. And step the left foot back to meet the right foot. Find your Samastiti. Soften into the relaxation and feel the sensations in the body. Notice what you feel in your lower back and in your upper back. Since that's an asymmetrical pose, the sense that you have in the 2 hips, lower back perhaps may be different from side to side. So let's do the other side and find the balance of doing both sides with the pelvis steady, left toes turn out, right foot steps forward, square the pelvis, lift the chest, and again, notice if you feel really tight in the lower back right now, you can pull your belly in, tilt forward, and you can release some of that tension. It doesn't have to be such a big back bend as we begin. Again, that's a modification, so use that if you feel more comfortable that way. Well, observing the back bend, the spinal extension, the chest lift, and the stretch at the front of the thigh, the hip extension. Inhale, raise the arms forward and up. Bend the right knee. Lift the chest. Extend the whole length of the spine. And exhale, bring the arms down and straighten the front leg. Square the hips. Bellies towards the spine with support. Inhale, raise the arms forward and up. And again, bend the front knee. Big back bend through the whole spine. And hug the belly in, arms down, legs straight, soft shoulders. Soften the face. Twice more. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more time. Inhale into the back bend. Spinal extension. And exhale, support with the belly as you come out of that back bend. Straighten the leg, square the hips. Relax the breath. And bring your right foot back to meet the left foot. Line the feet up. And let everything relax for a moment. Feel into the body. Where do you notice sensation? We worked along the spine. We also stretched the front of the thighs. You may notice some residual sensation from that front thigh stretch. We stretch the Achilles tendons, the calves. Again, notice the effect of the back bend. You might feel a little bit of compression in the back. So once again, we need to take a forward bend to release that. And we'll use Utkatasana, Ardha Utkatasana this time for that purpose, the half squat. Here again, we'll undulate the spine, going into spinal flexion and then lifting up in spinal extension. Chin will stay down throughout. Inhale, raise the arms forward and up. Feel the chest lift. Subtle spinal extension. Exhale, pull the belly in and bend the knees. Nice, big, full spinal flexion. Relax. And then inhale, raise the arms up and open the chest. Straighten the legs, come tall. And 3 more times. Exhale, bend the knees, fold down. Don't hunch the upper back, just relax it. Let your lower back get a nice stretch. And then float the arms up. Lift up tall and straighten the legs. Chin is down. 2 more times. Exhale from the belly. Emphasize the stretch in your lower back. And come up with the inhale. Open the chest. 1 final repetition. Pull the belly in. And open, lift, and bring the arms down to the sides. Relax the breath. And feel into the body. Any different from before we did that pose? If the answer to that seems to be no, that's okay. I imagine there is some difference, but the process of self-observation also is on a learning curve, so it may become easier over time to discern these differences in the body. Even if you can't feel the difference, we certainly want to counterpose after we do a back bend. We're going to go and take twisted triangle as an example of spinal rotation. So we're working with a twist. We really want to get the whole spine into the twist as much as possible. To that end, we're going to move down into the posture, bringing the hand to the lower back with the first exhale. Stay for a breath, extend the arm. So we're going to add the arm into it after we've already got the initial spinal rotation happening. The legs are wide, feet are parallel, hips are square, spine long. Inhale, float the arms out and up. You can bring them overhead if that's comfortable. Feel the lift of the breastbone. This is a gentle spinal extension. Then from the belly, rotate around your belly button. Rotate your chest. Bring the right hand down and your left hand behind the back. Turn the spine as much as possible. Then stay there and add the arm. Your palm should be facing the same direction as your chest. Stay and exhale again and see if you can twist just a little bit farther. And then inhale, come up to the top. Center yourself over your legs and your pelvis. Reach up. And then exhale. Twist the spine. Let your right hand come to your back initially as you do the first rotation. Make sure you're turned as much as possible. Then inhale, add the right arm. Palm facing the same direction as your chest. And stay as you exhale. And see if you got a little bit more twist. And inhale, come up to the top. Center yourself, lengthen up, and twist to the left again. Turn around the belly button, turn around the breastbone, turn at the neck. Inhale, extend the left arm up. And then stay and twist a little more with the exhale. If you push your belly button to your spine, you'll find a tiny bit more twist. Inhale, come up to the top. Lengthen, reach up. And twist around. Right hand to the back, turning the spine. And stay while you inhale, raise the arm up. Exhale and twist. You can find just a millimeter more of twist. And come up to the top with the inhale, lengthen up. One more time, exhale. Turn around the belly button, the breastbone. Bring the hand behind the back, turn your head. Inhale, extend the left arm up. Palm is facing the same way as the chest. Stay and twist. Turn the spine a tiny bit more. And inhale up to the top. Center yourself. And final rotation to the right. Hand behind the back. Turn the spine as much as you can. And then keep it turned as you extend the right arm up. And stay while you exhale. Maybe you can twist just a tiny bit farther. And float up to the top on the inhale. Center yourself. Chin is down, chest is lifted. Exhale, arms come down. And we're going to return to Samasthiti. And soften the breath. And feel the body. Notice the sensations along the spine, through your neck, through the shoulders, around the hips and down the legs. Now we'll work with a wide-legged forward bend. So we can counter pose with the legs wide as well. We're going to just take the hands on the backs of the thighs and slide the hands up and down the legs as we lift and lower 4 times. Then we're going to stay in the posture for 4 breaths. Begin by inhaling and breathing into the chest. Feel that slight spinal extension. As you exhale, pull your belly button in and slide your hands down your legs. Be sure you're pulling your belly up to the spine to feel the lower back part of the stretch. And then inhale, open your chest, slide your hands back up the legs. Be sure the chin is staying down. 3 more times like that. Exhale, pull the belly in, slide the hands down. Feel the stretch in the lower back. And open the chest. Little spinal extension as you come up. Sliding the hands up the legs. Breastbone lifted. Twice more. Exhale. Hug the belly and slide down. And inhale. Open the chest and slide up. And one last time. Pull the belly in. Slide down. And now we'll stay. You can leave the hands there or bring them down to the floor in front of you or place them behind your back and breathe 4 times. Every time you exhale, hug the belly to the spine and see if you can just gently increase the stretch in the lower back, just a tiny bit. Also be sure that the neck is relaxed so the head is just hanging down, shoulders are easy. If your hamstrings are tight, I don't have to tell you to bend your knees a little bit. They'll be bent a little bit already. When you're finished with the 4 breaths there, use an inhale. Slide the hands back up the legs. Open the chest. Come up. And then we're going to step back to Samasthiti. And observe the sensations in the body. Breath is moving freely. Balanced and easeful. Notice Notice the feeling in your lower back. After every pose, where we're either extending the spine or rotating it or side bending it as we're about to do, or when we do an asymmetrical posture, feel your back, feel along your spine, and then notice how that feeling changes when you do the counter pose. So we've done our spinal flexion and extension and rotation. Now we'll take the side bend. Take the legs comfortably wide for Utthita Trikonasana, the lateral triangle. Keep the pelvis steady. Turn the left toes out towards 90 degrees. Rotate the leg in the socket without turning the pelvis. You may not get all the way out to 90 degrees, that's fine. Try to have the knee and the toes pointing the same direction. I was a little lazy in my rotation at first, and my knee's a little forward of my toes, but if I roll out in the thigh, use the external rotators, which are in the left butt, you can align the knees and the toes. Pelvis stays square. The whole front of the body should face forward through this whole pose, because this is simply a lateral bend, no rotation. With the inhale, raise the arms to shoulder height. Turn the palms up to open the chest. And then with your exhale, bend down to the left leg. Keep pulling your left kneecap up. Keep the front of the body forward. And inhale, turn your head and look up at the palm. Then exhale, turn the head and look forward. And inhale, come up to the center. Pull the pelvis into the center so you're aligned. And exhale, bend down again. Side bend only, whole front body facing forward. Inhale, turn and look up. And exhale, turn the head and look forward. Feel the whole big stretch in your right side. Inhale, come up to the center. Stand evenly on both legs, and again with exhale. Side bend. Big stretch for the right side. Inhale, turn the head and look up. And exhale, turn the head and look forward. Inhale, come up. Center yourself. Check that the whole front body is forward. Last time. Exhale, side bend to the left. Stretching the right side open. And inhale, open the chest even more as you look up. Exhale, turn the head and look forward. Inhale, come up to the top. Center the hips. And exhale, bring the arms down. And then unrotate the left leg. Take a moment, come back into Samastiti. Now stand evenly. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see myself well enough, but usually when I teach this in class, when I get done, I can really tell which side of everyone has been stretched. Now notice your right side. Let the spine come up through the center. Feel the effect of that lateral bend. So we have two things to accomplish here. We would not want to just walk off into the day from this position. We want to first balance by doing the other side and then counter pose, which will be another forward bend. But first we complete the asymmetry. Take the legs wide. So before we turn the toes, we have the whole front of the body facing forward. The knees, the hips, the belly button, the sternum, the throat, the nose, everything facing forward. The only thing we're going to change as we rotate the leg out is the leg. Your pelvis should still keep facing forward. Rotate the right leg out in the socket. Make sure your knee points towards your toes, even if you're not moving out into a very big rotation, that's fine. Keep the front of the body forward. And that lateral bend, the bend's going to happen all in the left side. Whole front body stays facing the front the whole time. Inhale, arms come up to shoulder height. And as you exhale, I'm going to bend down to the right side, giving the left side a chance to stretch. Keep your belly button and breastbone forward. Inhale, turn and look up at the left hand. Exhale, turn the head and look forward. Keep the chest open while you do that. And inhale, float up to the top. Center the hips, lift the spine. And exhale, side bend to the right again. Chest stays open. And then inhale, turn the head and look up. Exhale, rotate the head and look forward. Keep the chest open. Inhale, come up to the top. Center the hips. Twice more. Exhale, bend to the right, stretching the left side. Inhale, turn and look up. And exhale, look forward. And lift to the top. Recenter yourself. One last time. Exhale, side bend to the right. And inhale, look up. Feel the stretch in your left side. Exhale, turn and look forward. And inhale, recenter yourself up at the top. And exhale, arms come down. Unrotate the right foot. And step back to Samastiti. Find your nice, even pose on both feet. Tall and relaxed. Now I'm noticing the effect of stretching the left side. And feel from side to side. Just because we did the same thing on each side doesn't mean you'll feel exactly the same on each side, because very few of us are perfectly symmetrical. So doing the same action may not have the exact same result on each side, but please feel the sensation in each side. And of course here you can feel the need to do a nice counter pose. And for that we're going to work with Vajrasana. Come down and stand on the knees. Well, we work with the sweeping arms and feel the interaction between the forward bend and the back bend on the exhale and the inhale. As you inhale, bring both arms out to the sides and up. Go ahead and arch the back. And pull the belly in and exhale, bend down. With your hands come to your back, emphasize the stretch in your lower back. Feel that even stretch there. And inhale, bring the arms out wide. Stand tall on the knees and arch the spine again. Pull the belly in and exhale, move into the forward bend. Gently stretching the lower back. Relax the upper back and the shoulders. Do that twice more. Inhale, chest extends as you open. And exhale, the belly pulls in, lower back stretching as the hands come behind you on your exhale. Once more. And when we get down into the forward bend, we'll stay. Bring your hands down on the floor in front of you or place them underneath your forehead. Feel this, what we call child's pose. It's a fetal position. There's that spinal flexion. We're going to work with the Cobra Bhujangasana, and we'll do 4 repetitions. I want the first back bend to be very small and emphasized in the upper back. And then as we do the 4 repetitions, we can gradually make the back bend bigger. So as it feels okay to you, you can go ahead and let it become a bigger back bend in the lower back. But start by emphasizing the upper back, and if it doesn't feel good to compress the lower back, then keep the back bend small. I actually, in general, think that's more productive for most of us, but I do want you to feel the different degrees if your spine is up for that today. So we're going to come and lie out straight on the belly. Your legs can be a little separated. We're actually going to use the more classic arm variation with the hands underneath the shoulders. Your elbows will point behind you and they'll be lifted off of the floor. For the first couple repetitions though, please do not be tempted to press into the hands too much. You can have your forehead on the mat, or if it's better to turn to one side, do that. If you're turning from side to side, just alter that side each time you come back down. So already lying here, you might find a little compression in your lower back. We're going to start by exhaling and pulling the belly button up into the spine to see if you can reduce that compression just a little bit. And then inhale just a tiny little back bend. Raise the head and the chest just a tiny bit up off of the mat. And then exhale, pull the belly in and relax back down onto the mat. And inhale, lift, and this time make it just a little bit bigger. And exhale, lower back down. Be sure you pull your belly button into your spine each time. We're going to do it twice more. If it's comfortable, you can start pushing into your hands a little bit and making a bigger spinal extension. And exhale, lower back down. Last time, inhale, lift the chest. Make sure you bend the upper back first, and then go into the bigger spinal extension. And lower back down with the exhale. And move to all fours. So if you go to a big back bend, it demands some pretty timely release, and we'll go to Chakravartasana. We don't want to stay with that compression in the lower back. With the inhale, raise the chest. And then exhale, pull your belly in, tuck your tail. Feel that lower back stretch as you bend your elbows and relax your neck. Concentrate on the stretch in the lower part of the spine. Inhale and come up, opening the chest. Bring the breastbone forward. Please do not collapse or overextend your lower back. And exhale, tuck your tail, pull your belly in, bend your elbows, and again, emphasize the stretch in the lower part of the back. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, lift up to all fours. Open the breastbone without collapsing the lower back. And hug the belly in, tail tucks under, bend the elbows, relax the neck as you move back, stretch the low back. One more time, inhale, move up to all fours, open the chest. And exhale, belly in, tuck the tail, soften the arms, stretch the lower back. And stay while you inhale. Stay back in the child's pose. Stay while you exhale. Pull your belly button to your spine. And again, emphasize that lowest back stretch. And do one more breath like that. And then we're going to come over onto the back and lie on the back with the knees bent. So as you rest on your back, find space in the upper back by moving the arms wide, turning the palms up. Relax in this basic resting position. Notice your lower back. It's in a little bit of a curve, but nothing extreme. By way of comparison, I'd like you just to feel the difference when you straighten the legs out? The space between your lower back and the mat increases, so the lumbar curve is more extended. And then if you bring your knees into your chest and allow the back to flatten, there's the lumbar curve flexed or flattened. And that's getting a gentle stretch. So bring the feet back down. Again, this is a neutral position, neither extended nor flexed. We're going to go into the pelvic lift. Interestingly, we flex the spine. When we roll up one vertebra at a time, that's spinal flexion, vertebra by vertebra. But once we get up, this is considered a back bend. It's considered a spinal extension because we have the chest open, and you're going to feel that your back is arched in the back bend position, not rounded in the forward bend position. So observe that change from spinal flexion as you lift into spinal extension when you're there. With the inhale, raise the arms and start rolling through your spine. That's spinal flexion one vertebra at a time until you're all the way up. And then you're going to feel actually that you're in a back bend, similar to that cobra. And then as you roll down, we want to flex the spine on the way down. And keep that flexion going all the way through the lower back, so you actually have a little built-in counter pose each time you come back down. 3 more times. Inhale to lift, you are rolling, so you are flexing the spine one vertebra at a time as you come up. Give yourself a moment to feel that extension, and then roll back down, flexing the spine one vertebra at a time as you come down. And feel how that gives your lower back a stretch inherent in the repetition. Do that 2 more times. Inhale and lift. Rolling through the spine, but ultimately opening the chest and coming to that gentle back bend. And exhale, rolling through the spine, counterposing, flattening the back on the way down. 1 more time. When you're done, bring your knees into your chest. As you exhale, hug the thighs in close and feel the lower back flatten more. And then as you inhale, move the knees and arms distance away, and you'll feel that the natural lumbar curve comes back into place. Exhale, pull the belly into the spine, feel the lower back flatten, lumbar flexion. And then move the knees away. And we're not going into a position where the back is overly arched, not into extension, but just to the neutral position. Do that twice more. Pull the belly in, gently flatten the lower back. And relax that with the inhale. And 1 more time. And then let's place the feet down on the floor. Pause for a moment with the knees bent. Let everything relax. Bring the attention into the body. Notice sensations. First, notice along the spine. And then you can let the attention move out through the rest of the body. Now we're going to try another side bend, lying out flat on the floor, Jatara Paravriti. Keeping the whole back of the body in contact with the floor. Move the feet a little to the left. So we can feel the beginning of the side bend over the right hip. Keep your chin down, your pelvis level, and inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Feel the increase in the side bend of the right side, and exhale, bring the arms back down. And we'll repeat 3 more times. Inhale, sweep the arms wide, feel the chest expand. Make sure the right hip stays down. And exhale, release the arms down, keeping even on the back of the pelvis. Twice more. And on the last one, we'll stay, keeping the arms up overhead. Feel the stretch in the right side. Exhale and turn your face to the right. Stay for 4 slow breaths. Keep the left hip and the left ribs down. Feel how the inhale breathes into the right side and increases the effect of that side bend. After you've had your 4 breaths there, on an inhale, turn the head back into the center. And on the exhale, realign the legs underneath you, your arms down at the sides. And relax the breath. Pause, soften, and notice. Check that the back of the pelvis is weighted evenly from left to right, and keep that even balance. Walk your feet over to the right, make sure your left hip stays down, and we'll sweep the arms 4 times. Inhale, sweep up. Feel the stretch across the front of the chest and up the left side, and exhale, bring the arms back down and feel the stretch just ease off a little bit. Inhale, opening, preparing for that stay, and exhale, bring the arms down. The body likes to have a slow adjustment into a position where we stay. Inhale, lift the arms wide, and exhale, arms back down. One final time. Inhale, let the arms sweep. Check that the whole back body is evenly on the floor. Stay as you exhale, turn your face to the left. And then inhale, breathe into the left side. Feel the side bend increase with the breath in. Exhale, pull the belly button down to the spine. Do 3 more breaths like that on your own. And when you're done, inhale the head to the center. Exhale, legs to the center, arms down. And take a moment and observe. Now you should feel some reaction in the sides from that side bend. Also, since we had the legs extended, you might feel a little bit of compression in the lower back. So let's neutralize that by bringing the knees into the chest. One hand on each knee. And again, Apanasana, the ultimate counter pose. Exhale, pull the thighs into the belly. And inhale, move the knees away from the chest. Exhale, pull the thighs in. There's your spinal flexion, especially in the lower back. And inhale, relax that. You are extending the spine, but only as far as the neutral position. 2 more times. Hug the knees in with the exhale. And float them away with the inhale. And one last time. Exhale the knees into the chest. Now we're going to go into a rotation, a twist. With the inhale, bring the arms out wide. And with your exhale, I'm going to drop the knees to the left side. Bring both knees over to the left. Left hand onto the right knee. Right arm relaxed. 4 breaths here. Feel the twist in the spine. Turn the face to the right. As you exhale, pull the belly in. Feel a little increase in the twist around the hips and lower back. Inhale, breathe into your armpit and right armpit and breastbone. Feel the increase in the twist in the upper back. 3 more breaths. When you're finished with those breaths, we inhale the knees into the center and then exhale them over to the right side. Bring the right hand onto the left knee, turn the face to the left, and take 4 slow breaths, breathing into the twist in the second side. Again, follow the effect of the breath. Different part of the spine is affected on the inhale from on the exhale. Feel the upper spine on your inhale, your lower spine on your exhale. One more breath. Notice the rotation through the whole length of the spine. And then on an inhale, return your knees into the center. And we're set again for Apanasana to counter pose, but just pause for a moment and wait before you start the knee hug. Notice the effect. Where do you feel sensation? When you're ready, begin 4 repetitions of Apanasana. Exhale, hug the knees in close. Lower back flattens, spinal flexion. Inhale, move the knees away. Let the chest expand. Moving into a neutral lower back. Do that 3 more times. come with the knees hugged in as we finish. Feel that flattened lower back position. And then slowly bring your feet down to the floor. Keep your knees bent and observe the neutral spinal extension. Then as you're ready, you can straighten both legs out and feel the slightly increased extension of the lower back. Coming into final relaxation. If it ever feels too much strain on the lower back to have the legs all the way out straight, you could of course go back to the bent knee position, or in order to relax more, take a bolster or a folded up blanket and put it underneath the knees. You never want to feel strain in the lower back while we're doing Shavasana. Make yourself comfortable. Check that the arms are far enough away from the center line of the body that you really can open the upper back. And allow the whole length of the spine to relax along the floor. Keep your attention in the body. Notice the subtle effect of the relaxed breath. You may feel some very small spinal movements, even as you relax, because of the breath's movements. Continue to return the attention to the body. If it wanders off, bring it back. Feel the body on the floor. Be present. Enjoy these few minutes of relaxation. Let tension drop out of the body. Remember that we cultivate relaxation in the mind by stilling it. So let attention rest in the body so that the mind is resting at the same time the body is. Let your breath gently deepen, expand, and notice as the breath becomes deeper and longer that there's a little bit more effect on the spine. And when you're ready, kind of reach the arms all the way up overhead and feel as you stretch your arms up, going into even more spinal extension. Which even here demands a counter pose. So we draw the knees to the chest and turn to the side, giving yourself that gentle fetal position, spinal flexion. Coming up to a comfortable seat as you're ready. When you sit for pranayama and for meditation, you want as closely as possible to have the spine in its neutral position, the same position it had when you were lying on your back with your knees bent. So get the hips up appropriately high. That's why it's fine to use a chair, so your spine can be lifted. A little bit of lumbar curve, relaxed in the shoulders. We're just going to observe the flow of the breath and see if we can find that subtle connection with inhale, spinal extension, exhale, spinal flexion. So we're going to start with not such a subtle version and use the arms. Breathing in through the nose with the lips gently closed. Let your arms come up and your chest lift. Go into a little gentle back bend. And then as you exhale, lower the arms, pull the belly in and bow forward just a little bit. Gentle spinal flexion. Do that again. Inhale. Breathe down from the chest to the belly. Lift the arms, expand the chest. And exhale, settle the arms down and go into a gentle spinal flexion. Now do the same thing but keep the arms still. Inhale, lift the chest up. And exhale, pull the belly in and go into a gentle flexion. Be careful you don't collapse the chest or over around the upper back. Do that again with the hands staying down. Inhale, gently lift the chest. Feel that spinal extension, back bend. And then pull the belly in. Let the head drop and go into a very subtle spinal flexion. Now inhale, even a more subtle spinal extension, lifting the chest, but not going to anything extreme. Exhale, pull the belly to the spine and make that flexion even more, or even less extreme, more and more subtle. Just tiny movements of the spine now. Inhale, small lift of the chest, little undulation of the spine. Exhale, belly button back to spine. Little extra spinal flexion in the lower back. And then bring yourself to a point where you're still, but the breath continues to act on the spine in a very subtle way. So without any outward movements, feel the chest expand and lift with the inhale. Feel the belly pull in and gently flex the lower back. Gently stretch the lower back with the exhale. Continue to observe your breath in this way for a couple minutes. relax the control of the breath. Continue to observe it, and we're going to sit for a minute, watching the breath, allowing the body to be as relaxed as it can be without slumping. Picture the breath moving up and down the spine. Keep the breath quiet and relaxed now. Bring the attention into the body if it has wandered elsewhere. Now bring the hands together in front of the chest. Take a moment, noticing the breath coming in and the breath going out. Acknowledge yourself for being present and noticing throughout the whole practice. And then we'll acknowledge each other, grateful for sharing this time and space together. Namaste. Thank you all. Hope you have a beautiful day, and look forward to seeing you all on Thursday. Until then, be well. Take care. Hey Mom, hey Linda.